Good evening, everyone. I'm Neha, Ambassador of Change for GETI, that is Global Education and Training Institute, founded and conceptualized by Dr. Sunita Gandhi with the vision of disrupting the education movement as we know it. At GETI, we organize pre-service and in-service training for teachers so that they can help spearhead this disruptive education movement. And under the same umbrella, with much enthusiasm, we also organize tea talks where we invite policymakers, educators, researchers, and various people from the education fraternity to discuss these various best practices with us. And today, I'm very honored to have amongst us Mr. Ved Prakash, who is a freelance educator based in Delhi and carries with himself over 35 years of experience as a teacher, as a principal, as an educator, as a researcher, and holds a strong interest in the psychological development of students. Sir will be condensing his vast experience in the topic empathy in classroom, a topic very close to my own heart as well. And I'm very thrilled to hear what Sir has to say. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Same here.
Can I add your presentation, sir? We can now take this forward.
Yeah, 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 please.
It's on the screen, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Good evening, everyone. As Neha told you all about, there are not such things, but I have learnt many things on my through my own learning, or particularly by working with children. I have always been a learner with the children in the classrooms and others and others. It's my honor to share my views on empathy in the classroom, and I will start it like the last line: embrace the change. Regarding this, I would like to share that this change, what change I'm talking about is change of the mindset, change of the learning patterns. Learning patterns not as per the syllabi designed by the teachers in different schools and different platforms and at different levels, but change in the habit of learning, habits of learning of the children of different age groups, particularly 3 to 8 years of age, like nursery to second class, third to fifth class, and 6 to 8, and 9 to 12. 9 to 12 is not that much a problem because child is from 14 to 18 age group and can manage many things. But particularly the 6 to 8th standards, the children from 11 to 14 and below that and the beginners. Every child during last 24 months plus, means 2 years plus duration, are attuned to a different set of skills, different set of habits, different sets of patterns of thinking. Particularly, if we talk about thinking, then it will go in a different session. But everybody, child, teacher, and parent, and the management, particularly the principal, all four corners are the good thinkers. Principal think in their different ways in managerial skills and others. Teachers think about completion of the syllabi and accessories and examples and lesson plans and so many things. But child is lost somewhere. Parents are just worried about their learning. I cannot ask parents to help his learnings of the children, but they can support it by supportive manner, not by instructional manners, but by sorry, supportive manner. That is a different uh, scenario to talk about. So I'll focus it to the child and the teacher. So now, as empathy, this is simply a 6 7 letters word, EMPATHY. This may be called something else in some other language. This may be something somewhere else, but globally, I can say that every child feels and perceives the things in the same way. A child who is see, sipping water simply or a lemon juice here in India or in London or in America or in Ukraine or in Russia, now you can compare the mindset of the child. A child in the war zone, a child in a trauma zone, they have been for 2 years, just compounded to the houses, small or big, whatever. Compound, not allowed to play, not allowed to eat something, not allowed to do something, not allowed, not allowed, not allowed. A pressure of the class, online class is there. Mother is worried about, child is worried about technology, this, that. Now, my point of concern to all concerned is to use this trait. I will say trait. This is not a skill, nothing, but it's something a child feels inside. Now, the ability of a teacher, ability of a parent to feel it within his or her heart how a child is feeling, how a child loves learning is important. And this can be understood. I can help you just uh, by highlighting certain points on this with this that encouraging children to reflect on as per this slide because my talking is has always been in general, but this slide was a requirement for of this presentation, so I tried to connect it. See, how do you think he is feeling? This is for a teacher and a parent. Okay, how would you feel if this happened to you? Here you can recall your childhood days. If a teacher can, or if a parent can, put him or her to that level of 6 7 years of age, of uh, 10 years of age, of 13 years of age, and I'm sure mothers are quite good reaching there at the level of their child. And as mother teachers, the teachers teaching in uh, beginning grades, primary grades like nursery to second, third, fourth, fifth, they better understand a child than others. They reach to their heart and they reach to their mind. They observe their likings, their dislikings, learning modes, and so many things. And this is the only point that we have to worry about learning of the child, learning process of the child, learning traits of the child, rather than the technologies or methodologies or the concepts or coverage of courses and other things we do. At least for this year, one whole year, like the children have been suffering for last 2 years, 2 plus years. So we can compensate it by additional work or by other things to reach the mind of the child. My focus is to reach the heart and mind of the child is the main duty of a teacher and a parent and help the child to recall certain learnings which she had and forgotten. And then, like there is a saying in this teaching learning process, learn, unlearn, and relearn. Children knew something before Corona. They were jumbled up during this Corona period, and now they have to relearn the things. Now there is a condition before the child. Which relearning? During Corona or after Corona period? So this a teacher, a smart teacher or teacher can put it smartly to the child so as he she may be able to recall the things he she knew before Corona period and during Corona period, and now how the both can be relinked or relearned or reused for a futuristic learning, because futuristic learning is uh, again a huge topic. We can talk on this at large or at length. And then there are so many things like in synthesis I have told you, and that's why it is important to teach children empathy. Actually, children need not to be taught empathy; they gain it automatically. They gain it through play work, the project work, through siblings, and so many things. And you see, every family would have felt it that if mother is sad somehow, some way, then child becomes upset and tries to make his or her mom happy. What is this? Child is feeling the emotions of mother. Child is feeling the emotions of father. Child is feeling the emotions of this other siblings. Why he is sad? Why so? So, and you see, children don't always instinctively treat others with empathy, because instinctively means their intentional power develops slowly and gradually as their brain matures by the age of 8 to 9.5 years. That brain grows in the skull itself with the age of the child. So this age group, nursery to second, is blocked one group as per new education system, and the third, fourth, fifth, quite beginning years, actual learning starts there. Child can comprehend over certain things, can understand, can interpret certain factors, and then after that 6 to 8, then that is a maturing period, and then child goes on his her own to interpret, to manipulate, to extrapolate the things as he she needs. Now, just for a hint, types of empathy includes cognitive empathy, emotional empathy, and somatic empathy. As I'm stressing upon emotional empathy, because cognitive empathy, somatic empathy, and emotional empathy, they are, well, huge topics. They need time to uh, discuss on, to work on, to exemplify on, to work on. So many things are there. And cognitive empathy, particularly, every mother knows that how does a child learns to recognize or to cognize different things, colors, features. See, the child or the infant children, they are very comfortable with their mothers than others, because they feel the touch, they feel the warmth, they feel the colors, they feel the cognition, so many things of the mother, because they have to spend most of the time with them. Naturally, this thing goes on. Like you see, there are people who recognize faces with their names. I know two people who have worked with me. One knew every child, whether 1500 or 2000, nursery to 12th. He always called them by name. And he has worked as administrator with me in one school. Another person who was working as administrator, he knew most of the parents' phone numbers. You just name the person, he'll just give you the 10-digit phone number. This. वहाँ का रहने वाले हैं ऐसे ऐसे everything. So they have. I don't have this ability, but some people are some way or other gifted, or they have developed this by their own traits. So to talk about cognitive empathy, emotional empathy, somatic, psychosomatic, the somatic word is quite strange and can we discuss that lot. So particularly we'll focus on emotional empathy here so as every means family and school both can work on it. Now the three core concepts that empathy consists of can be seen in different ways. As I have summarized, the ability to recognize emotion in the in oneself and others. So many things are there. We can see this thing I'm talking about is related to parent first and the teacher. Because in classroom, teacher is managing everything. She is the hero of the child of that particular 20, 30, or 40 minutes period. And child tries to see so many things. When teacher is there, then many a number of questions arise in the brains of the children. Some of them are able to speak out. Some of them just discuss with their co-friends, peers, and some of them just think and stop. Now, this is the ability of a teacher to cognize. I have been blessed by such things. Like even if a child is thinking something and not trying to say, I usually prompt, used to prompt them. तुम कुछ पूछना चाहते हो लेकिन पूछ नहीं रहे हो. You are thinking about something here happening in the classroom or something happened to you on the way to the school or some past event. If you hint like this, then child tries to come out. Yes, sir, ऐसा वैसा जो भी whatever. इवन अगर सुबह मम्मी ने नाश्ता बनाते हुए गुस्सा कर दिया तब भी चाइल्ड का बच्चे का मूड अपसेट हो जाता है एंड इट रिफ्लेक्ट्स ऑन हिज फेस हर फेस. See, our face lines speak more louder than anything scripted in books or some psychology or something or something or something. So knowing the children in person, being with them, playing with them, loving them, helps them learn better than anything or any technology or any support or effort given to them. Feelings of empathy. This, in general, I have talked about. Every child tries to express himself or herself by words, by voice, or by silence. And if a teacher or a parent is able to read the silence of the child, I salute them. I respect them. Because that is the only thing that kills or builds the child. If a child is silent, you see what way he may be or she may be thinking or something. And if you don't reach that, it may go anywhere. So the need is to bring it out of the child. Common traits in empathy measures. Common traits in empathy measures include the, these the very advanced things like interpersonal reactivity index. IQ होता है, so many things are there. The interpersonal reactivity, कई बार हम बात करते हैं तो आपकी आधी बात होती है, दूसरा सामने से आ जाता है, तीसरा आ जाता है, बात करते करते कुछ और होने लगता है. Interpersonal talking. And once we are friends and others, then you see, when, if we talk it practically, so when a child is getting angry, happy, whether it able to interact or not, interacting comfortably or not, like you see, if we go to meet a certain family or friends, small kids are there, then simply people ask, Beta, what's your name? Which class you read in? Or so and so and so. Or parents ask them to bid, बेटा नमस्ते करो, अंकल आए हैं. अब बच्चा शर्मा के चला जाता है. They are common things at home. And certain children come and greet, and whatever way cultural values go, they go. So some are quite frank and some are not. Why? This is a matter to contemplate. To be complemented by parents, contemplated by teachers. Teachers can help the child to speak out. If anything which is spoken out relaxes the heart and mind of the child, उसको बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. मैंने कहा, मेरी बात को टीचर ने अप्रिशिएट किया, एक्सेप्ट किया, बच्चों के सामने ताली बजवाई, मुझे आगे बुलाया. So many things are there to help the child develop better interpersonal reactivity traits. इंडेक्स की तो बात बात नहीं आएगी, मेजरमेंट जैसे होता है, टेस्ट ऑफ रैंकिंग, but that ability can be developed by so many interactions and other things. And you see, our sports play a major role, theatrics play a major role, music and dance play a major role for interpersonal reactivity traits. And second one is empathy quotient, like IQ, EQ, so emotional quotient, empathy quotient, so many things are there. They are the measures actually, uh, how emotional health or empathy or IQ of the child are growing. These are certain traits to work on inter this interpersonal reactivity index, and so these things can be. See, this is not a literature, particularly this topic. This is a matter of being on this same platform. We generally use it. Are we on the same platform? Are we on the same page? Or we are not on the same page? You are saying something, I am saying something. And here it is mandatory for a teacher or parent to be on the same page with the child. A teacher or and both a parent has to see through the eyes of the child and has to listen through the ears of the child and then feel as a child is feeling in his or her heart, not mind. It's not a mind game. It's nothing to do with the mind. It's a matter of heart only. And that way it develops, it adds to the confidence of the child, and the same way otherwise also. If a child is not valued at the right time, not appreciated right time, right place, naturally his courage, confidence, and other things will be affected. So empathy is something which affects the nervous system of the child, growth of the brain of the child, and ultimately the physical growth. And this other traits, whatever the challenging future is there, technological future is there, whatever child is planning to be, or parents just dream their own works through the children, that everything is affected. Now I leave it to you how the listeners, whosoever, whatever way, to conclude it. Now, this is your own conclusion. What way you think that empathetic behavior, not of the child, the teacher, and the parents, should be there in practical at home and at school, we have to contemplate over it. And I would request all principals, whatever grades or whatever schools they are, should focus on this empathetic trait of the children, of the teachers and parents, to help the child ultimately develop positive traits, forget the corona period trauma, forget all other things. And you see, in Ukraine, war is going on, and as per the TV, media news, and others, more than 20 lakh people are living as refugees in different countries. Now think of the child, think of the so many norms are there. And you see, if you correlate it, I have seen in some houses and some other things, the home is just a war field for a child. Everybody shouting, crying, this, that. I feel hurt. You see, you cannot interfere in other families and other things. And nowadays, even you cannot suggest. But at least we the teachers have one positive trait. That child comes to the school. And if she is there, then we can, we can help him or her to develop its emotional strength. And if a child is emotionally strong right from the beginning, naturally all empathetic or pathetic or see sympathetic or compassion and other so many factors will grow automatically in the heart and mind of the child. I would like to conclude my lecture here now because
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your thoughts on empathy. I think you drew a very wonderful conclusion that students are going through a very traumatic time right now, and teachers and parents and educators, everyone needs to be empathetic. But before we conclude, I would ask you one question that I think to be empathetic with a child, a teacher or an educator or a parent needs to be aware of his own emotions as well. I think, because since you cannot empathize if you are not in a good place yourself. So, in that sense, I think, would you like to highlight the importance of empathy for teachers and students so that they are able to better empathize with, the students as well?
For that, I told you in my lecture also, training,
Yes.
specific training of the
But in,
teachers and parent orientation. I have been doing this parent orientation grade wise and
yes, sir. Yes,
teachers training grade wise at
yes,
particular level and particular point. Means everything is available on net and books and others. That is useless. I say
yes,
useless because see, if we are interacting, Neha and VP Sharma is interacting, right? Then we do understand what we are talking about,
yes,
right?
sir.
You can put up your question, I can answer. I may put up my question, you can think it over, right? So
So, yes, sir.
particular training, not that I highlighted with you that the B.Ed colleges or others or other. This is some literary work. See, going
Absolutely.
through paragraphs or reading between lines is not going to help the child today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For that, what I emphasized over the teachers' training on such grounds is necessary. Then they will be able to deliver in the classes. Otherwise, they will be worried about the syllabus and this. That is not required today. At least for three,
Yes,
four
yes,
months
yes.
now, particular psychological treatment of the child and the teacher is needed. And see, child will learn either from teacher or from parents. So parent orientation, I've been in a practice कि मैं ग्रेड वाइज पेरेंट्स को बुलाता था, particularly mothers. कंपल्सरी में लिखता था only mothers sir, right? फादर को ज्वाइन
Okay.
करना है तो यार कुछ पूछते सर हम भी आ जाएं, यू आर वेलकम, बट अ मदर कैन अंडरस्टैंड अ चाइल्ड बेटर. तो मदर्स
Better.
को मैं
Yes.
यही बातें बड़े हिंदी में उनकी लैंग्वेज में समझाने की कोशिश करता था कि बच्चे को कैसे कंफर्टेबली रखने. खिलाना पिलाना वो सब ठीक है, बट बच्चे को अगर आपने सब कुछ खिलाया और वो शेर और बकरी वाली बात कर दी तो क्या मतलब हुआ. भाई बकरी को खिलाया पिलाया, वो वजीर का था ना उसका, अकबर बीरबल का, कि वो मोटा भी नहीं होना चाहिए और दाना भी पूरा खाना चाहिए. तो बीरबल उनको पूरा खाना खिलाते और शेर के सामने बांध देते जाते, तो देख देख के ही उसको वो अ, उसका हेल्थ गड़बड़ होता है. तो पेरेंट
Yes,
खिलाते
sir.
पिलाते अच्छा है, लेकिन एक छोटी सी बात, जैसे एक पत्थर तालाब में रिपल्स क्रिएट कर देता है, एक छोटी सी बात जो बच्चे को पसंद नहीं है, उसके मन पर, उसके दिल पर, दिमाग पर कितना असर करता है. एक छोटा सा खिलौना उसको ना दिलाया जाए तो वो कितना परेशान होता है, और उसको दिलाने में भी वो कितना खुश होता है, राइट. तो कई बार हम कई सारे फैक्टर्स को डिफरेंट वे में लगा के गड़बड़ कर देते हैं. इसके लिए मेरा एक ही थेसिस है जो मैं आपसे पहले ही कह रहा था कि चारों ग्रेड पर टीचर्स के लिए, पेरेंट्स के लिए, प्रोग्राम के लिए उनकी प्रेजेंस में उनको प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग की ज़रूरत है, उनको एक्टिविटीज़ के थ्रू समझाने की ज़रूरत है, राइट. तो इसको जैसे हमारा बात कर रहे हैं, ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. तो मैं
Understand.
प्रैक्टिकली काम करता रहा हूँ पेरेंट्स पर, बच्चों पर और टीचर्स पर. मेरा उल्टा रहा है, मैं बच्चों को ट्रेन कर देता हूँ पहले, अब वो टीचर के सामने क्वेश्चन करेगा.
सही बात है.
तो
Then you need
टीचर
to
को
train.
सर अगर टीचर तैयार करके नहीं आए हैं तो उन्हें तैयार करना पड़ेगा. वो कहेंगे बेटा मैं आज तैयार नहीं हूँ, कल बताऊंगी. ओके, कल उसने, लेकिन मैं बता दूं कि आपने पूछना है कि कल टीचर भूल भी सकती है, उसको घर जाना है, काम करना है, फिर आना है, फिर तो आपने फिर से पूछना है मैम क्या हुआ. दैट दे हैव टू. सो एक्चुअली ये जो ट्रायंगल है, टीचर, टॉट एंड पेरेंट, ये बहुत
Yes, sir.
क्रूशियल है. और जनरली हम इसमें
Absolutely.
से द पेरेंट कॉर्नर को, क्योंकि पेरेंट जो है टॉप कॉर्नर पर है, वर्टिसेस है ट्रायंगल की, उसको मिस कर देते हैं. स्कूल में अलाउ नहीं करते. आप समझे बात. तो सो
Yes,
मेनी
sir.
थिंग्स आर देयर. वो मैनेजमेंट का, प्रिंसिपल्स का अपना अलग अलग रहा है, बट आई हैव बीन अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ पर्सन एंड आई हैव वर्कड ऑन चिल्ड्रन. सो आई फील दैट पेन कि बच्चों के साथ कितना इनजस्टिस हो रहा है. मान आप ही का बच्चा, उसको प्रॉपर उसकी एज ग्रुप के हिसाब से नरिशमेंट नहीं मिल रही है, फायदा क्या. वो पेरेंट कहता है ना कि इतनी सारी फीस देते हैं, इतना कुछ करते हैं, फाइनली वही नाटक है. मैं भी कहता हूँ पेरेंट्स को, देखिए चाहे हमारा स्कूल है चाहे कोई और स्कूल है, फीस उसकी 1 लाख रुपए है चाहे 10,000 रुपए है, ABCD के 26 लेटर के अलावा कुछ और नहीं सिखाता, काउंटिंग
सही
के
बात
वन
है।
टू नाइन जीरो हंड्रेड के अलावा कुछ नहीं सिखाते, तो वे सिखाते क्या है? फ़र्क क्या है स्कूल्स का? बिल्डिंग से कोई लर्निंग नहीं होती, फ़र्क है टीचर्स का, उनकी ट्रेनिंग का, वो जो एनवायरनमेंट कराया जाता है उसका, एंड दिस एलिमेंट इज जनरली मिसिंग, एंड आई वुड this impressed this cap, what to say, will put stress over it that teachers should be trained properly, emotionally, empathetically, pathetically, sympathetically, compassionately to treat a child as a child.
Absolutely,
He,
absolutely.
he is a
I
child
think
first, then something else.
absolutely. I think it's very important to create psychological safety for a child where he can trust the person in front of him. It could be a teacher, it could be a parent or an educator, and that comes when you educate the parent and you give proper training to teachers. That's a very wonderful point because it again answers my question that how can a teacher be empathetic with the child, and the answer is good training because since teachers, they have been working with a certain set of rules and regulations for so many years, and now we really need them to be empathetic with children. So obviously, training comes to rescue. That's a very wonderful point. Thank you for raising that, sir. And I think you were very right when you said that you will need separate lectures to delve into different topics and different grades and teachers and educators as well. And I hope we can see you again. We can arrange for another session where we can, dive more deeply into, say,
Yeah,
teacher training for students in classrooms. That is a very good idea, and I will certainly pass on to my team and will try to arrange another session for you. And but thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you have any parting thoughts for our audience are basically teachers and parents also. So if you have some words for them, we would like to listen to them as well.
thank you, Leah, for providing me this platform so I could convey myself. And now you better know that what way we should proceed further. And this is not
Yes,
a one lecture method. It's not a
absolutely, sir.
one lecture point and this way because this is oceanic topic. Emotion and
Absolutely.
empathy and the only thing is like you say related to heart and mind of the child and learning. This is oceanic topic. So cannot be concised in a cup of tea or so. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
thank you, Neha. Thank you for giving me this chance so I could convey myself at least. Now you know, others may give you the feedback, and then on that basis we can work together further.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. And thank you for blessing us with your words and experience. And I hope to see you again soon with delving into a more better topic and more deeply for the benefit of students, teachers, primarily students, I would say, but for the benefit of the entire triangle, as you just mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Same here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Neha.
Have a good day.